Hi everyone, this is Simon Pomp from Iris Research, and today we're releasing our latest ICT industry survey, which is proudly sponsored by the AVC group. And I've got Rob Kell here, who's the CEO of AVC. How are you going, Rob?
Good.
The latest survey, there was a couple of interesting findings that came out of the survey, Rob, which I'd like to have a quick chat with you to give people who are watching this a bit of flavour of what's in this report. The first one I wanted to have a quick talk about was looking at budgets that organisations are spending in this area. We're seeing a lot of areas in an organisation being cut back in terms of their expenses, but it's notable that in this area that businesses over the next 12 months have predicted they're either going to spend the same, and the majority of them are actually going to spend more in the ICT area. You got any comments on that one, Rob?
Yes, what this report shows, and also some of our previous reports, is that businesses certainly recognise and can see significant productivity gains for the business from an operational point of view, certainly from a staff productivity point of view. So when it comes to the building blocks for improving the productivity within your organisation during hard times, ICT is certainly one of those areas that business recognise they've got to be at the forefront of.
Okay. Also, just looking at some of the emerging technologies that's happening in the ICT area, we talk in this survey, or we ask questions about cloud computing. It's very new. Businesses are just getting to understand what it's all about at the moment, particularly the small business sector. And we noted around about 16% of firms are starting to plan the next 12 months to get into the cloud, if you want to call it that. What's your thoughts on cloud computing?
It's very much part of not only the here and now, but definitely the future for many organisations to be looking at what is cloud. And cloud is made up of a number of different things, and it's really about infrastructure as a service, software as a service, looking at where you house your data and what licensing models that you want or you see as benefiting your business for scaling up and down, when you need it, rather than within the usual or historical 4 to 5 year infrastructure review periods. It gives a lot more flexibility to businesses. You highlighted that large businesses have certainly started to adopt cloud more readily than smaller businesses. There's a combination of reasons for that, and one of those is risk, and larger organisations certainly have much more of a focus on risk, and they're looking at ways to reduce the risk of where they house their data. The other is, as I said earlier, with the 4 year cycle or the 3 to 5 year refresh, we're yet to see the smaller end of the business sector looking at, do I refresh in-house or do I start looking at other things externally? And it's important you get very good advice.
Yes, it is. And talking, it's a good segue into my next question, was looking at advice, and the majority of businesses, in particular the small business sector, rely heavily on external advisors and consultants in this area for implementation of new projects in the IT area, for updating their knowledge and skills. In terms of relationships with advisors and consultants, it tends to get a bit, I suppose, nervous, particularly for the small business sector when they look at the costs and things like that.
Yeah.
Any advice out there for operators?
Well, very much so. I mean, as with any professional advice, whether it's legal, accounting, tax, economic, or ICT, it's very important to find a trusted advisor. Trusted advisor needs, obviously, to have the education and training and have the experience, but also not represent just one particular view. They need to give you options so that you can make decisions. They need to very well understand your business and what your business goals and objectives are, so that they can present you with the sort of options that you need. So AVC, for example, work with both ends of the market. We work with CIOs of large organisations who operate throughout Australia, who do have very experienced and capable internal ICT managers, but they all recognise that as internal IT, you tend to become custodians of redundant technology. So when it comes to really understanding how to make something work not necessarily from the technology point of view, but how you're going to make it work for your organisation. It's really important to have some people who you can trust, who are capable of working with you in implementing that. At the other end, as I think the last report showed and you highlighted, 33%, I think it was, rely on external advisors. A further 30% rely on their mates who have brought that in. Again, that's a trusted advisor. And I really encourage that 30% to find an ICT trusted advisor. But yes, no, it's very important.
Thanks, Rob. Well, that's just a snapshot of some of the results of the latest ICT survey that I said is kindly sponsored by the AVC group. And just coming up shortly is our economic luncheon. So if you haven't got your tickets now, please get a ticket because they're moving fast. And we're also shortly going to be running a breakfast, an industry breakfast, where we're going to pull a lot of this information that we've been collecting about the Illawarra ICT sector over the last 12 months to 2 years in a research paper, and with the help of Rob and his team at the AVC group, we'll be presenting some of that information. Anything there?
No, we look forward to seeing as many of you there as possible.
Thank you, and if you want to download the paper, it's certainly there on this email. So thanks again for listening, and we'll see you again shortly.